Hey everyone, so I got my hands on the new Icon magnetic tool mat. This thing, based on the video recently, the little promo video that Harbor Freight put up, it looks like it's supposed to be pretty heavy duty. They showed where they took a brake rotor and they threw a rotor on it and it was able to hold up a brake rotor. I'm going to test that out in this video. I'm also going to just do an unboxing and tell you what I think about it. Just first impressions and everything like that goes. It says on here that it's an 11x9 high power rare earth magnet. Mesh conforms and holds firm to various surfaces. It says it fits in toolbox drawers for easy storage between jobs. Constructed with a durable, high abrasion resistant surface, adheres to curved surfaces such as fenders. There's 83 high power rare earth magnets included in the mesh surface. Has that Icon lifetime guarantee, which is super important. The item number is 70077. So if your local Harbor Freight maybe has got some of these in, mine didn't actually have them on the floor. I just went in and asked if they had any, and they knew what I was talking about. So they were able to get me a couple of these. Their retail price right now is $19.99, which in my opinion, well, I actually haven't tested this out yet, but I think $19.99 is probably a good price point for these. So, and especially since Harbor Freight does that promotion every few months where things under $20 are 30% off, then you can, get an extra 30% off potentially on these. So yeah, I'm going to, or is it 20%? It's 20% or 30%, something like that. But these would fall into that category under $20, so you'd be able to get that extra ITC discount on these. It doesn't actually say what the weight, it says the weight of the product on here is 1.9 pounds. So that's how much the mat weighs. It doesn't actually make any claims though of how much it can hold, how much weight it can hold. So I have a feeling that they do that for legal reasons probably. They're probably worried that if they do put that this can hold 40 pounds on it, and then somebody puts something that's 40 pounds on it, or 35 pounds on it, and it falls and it hurts that person, that Harbor Freight could be held liable for making those claims that the product could hold something, and it could potentially, if there's defects in the product, or it just opens them up to liability if they make those types of claims. It would be cool though if they had like an upper range. I'm sure they know the maximum that this thing can hold, so I don't see why they couldn't put something in there like this, has a maximum capacity of 50 pounds, or, just give us a maximum what they think it is. I think that would probably be useful to people so they kind of get an idea of what this thing can do, but we're just gonna have to test it out and see what it can do. So I'm going to get this thing cut open, and then we are going to throw a rotor on it and throw some tools on it. I'm gonna go under my truck. I'm gonna throw it under the truck and test its flexibility and everything like that with some tools, and just see how well it holds things in a practical situation. And I'll give you guys my opinion on it and if I think it's a good buy. So stay tuned. So we are going to get our Doyle X-Acto. I got quite a few of these when they did that promo last year. I believe that these were like free with purchase. So I got, I think, like 6 of these things, and I just have them all over the place. I got a few for my toolbox, a few for each vehicle, or one for each vehicle that I have, and I love these things. But anyway, that's besides the point. let's get into it. So let's get this thing cut open here. Comes nicely packaged. And it is a lot thicker than I expected it to be. I don't know how flexible that's going to be because it's pretty thick. I expected it to be a little, I guess the flexibility will kind of come over time with use. Initial impressions though is that this is not that flexible, but like I said, it also could be something that needs to break in. It's got a nice little icon logo. I guess icon really doesn't have a logo, it's just kind of the name, but nice little stitching there with the icon on it. But yeah, I mean, let's see how well it folds up. This does not fold up very well, so the claims that it folds up super easy, it's very stiff is my initial impressions. Let's throw it up on the toolbox. It's not wanting to, yeah, so it'll stay there. So it'll stay here if it's got a large enough surface for it to sit or stick to, but so, I mean, that's decent. Yeah, so let's go put it up on something and get a rotor thrown on it, and then we will see what we think about it. But yeah, initial impressions is it's like not super, it's a lot thicker than I expected. I would say it's at least 1/4 inch thick. And it's not as flexible as I would have expected it to be. Okay. Yeah, so the only place that I could find like a solid piece of metal that was flat to put this on so I could really like test its limits was my tool cart. So I threw it on my 30-inch US General 5-drawer and on its lid, and it seems to be holding on pretty good. I mean, it goes on. What's nice is that it doesn't like, it's not like violent. Well, I mean, it makes that noise, but it's not like, I don't think that this would damage like the paint. Just this material seems to be like pretty durable, some kind of pleather or something, or some kind of like, I don't know, like vinyl pleather is what it kind of looks like to me. But it goes on nice, and it seems to hold on there pretty good. It's not like too difficult to remove or anything. So let's just throw some random stuff on it. So I don't know how we want to do it. I guess we'll just throw it up on there like we're working on something and needed to throw something up. I just got a bunch of random stuff out of the drawers. So let's see here. Nice little flathead. Big set of pliers. So I don't know what the weight of this stuff is. I don't know what the weight of that stuff is, but I mean, it's probably a few pounds. I don't know, maybe like 4 or 5 pounds, something like that. But I mean, it seems to be holding up pretty good. Let's give it a shake. Yeah, stuff is moving, but nothing too crazy, nothing fell, so that's good. Okay, let's get on to our next test. I'm gonna go grab a rotor. We're gonna slap it on here, and we're gonna see if this will hold up a rotor like on the videos. And then we're gonna get underneath one of my vehicles and use it practically. So I found a rotor to test this with. Actually, I had to take this from a set that I bought for Cadillac. So I think these are the front brake or the rear brake pads, or the rear brake rotors. But they were, I bought them for a vehicle, and then they didn't actually need them. They had more meat on than I actually thought that they did. But I got them just in case for whenever we would need them, because the brakes were bad. So, and it came in a kit. So just gonna throw it up on here and see if it can hold it. Can hold it. That's pretty impressive, actually. See how difficult it is to take that. Wow. Okay, so you see that? So that wanted to come off with the actual rotor, so that's kind of not a good thing. I feel like, because if you had, you know, a bunch of tools and stuff on here, or some tools on here, and you went to grab this off, the whole thing came. But I mean, that just shows you how strong that rotor is stuck to that. That is actually really impressive, to me at least. That's actually kind of surprising. I know that we saw it on the, let's put it on the other side, see how well that is on there. That is crazy, actually. That's really impressive to me, that can hold that like that. I mean, this wants to come with the rotor. I mean, so it's a little bit difficult to actually pull that off. Wow, so that's actually a promo thing that I was skeptical of, that is true, and it actually is. That is really impressive to me, that it can hold that. That is crazy. That is really surprising. Just give it a shake. Yeah, it's not going anywhere. That's awesome. Okay, so it definitely passed the rotor test. That is super, super cool. I don't know what this rotor weighs. I'll get weight on it, and I'll put it up somewhere on the video. My estimate is that this is probably 20 pounds, around 20 pounds, maybe a little bit more. But still, I mean, that's really, really cool that it can hold that. I'm gonna test it. I'm gonna test a few other things on this, because now I'm really curious to what this thing can do. I don't know if it's because it just has so much more surface area for it to stick, that it's able to stick that well. So I want to get some kind of heavy things that don't have as much surface area and see what this thing can actually do. Okay, so how we are going to test this is, I got some big tools that are heavy, but they don't have a lot of surface area, and I want to see if it can hold them. So breaker bar, not really. It's wanting to come off. Yeah, it's gonna just slide right off. I don't know if this would stay on there if it wasn't working against gravity. We can test that in a minute. Under the truck, so that's staying up there. That pry bar is staying on there. Big old pry bar. All these products are from Harbor Freight. Big set of pliers here. I guess, what are these, channel locks? Or pipe wrench, or whatever you want to call this. And then another set. It's holding on there. So it's actually pretty impressive, because this is working against gravity right now in the vertical direction. I feel like these would probably stick better than this direction, straight up and down. So like, in a practical sense, like if you're under a vehicle, that's on there good. I mean, it's not coming off. This thing is awesome. I'm forming my opinion as we go, but my opinion right now is that this is a buy. Let's see here. Let's get it. It's back on there good. That shake. And it's staying on there. Wow. And one thing I was thinking about, I think the reason that this comes off with the rotor is that the rotor actually has more metal than this sheet metal that this lid is made out of. So I think that how magnets work is they want to stick to whatever has the most potential magnetic force for them to stick to, which is going to be the thicker metal of those rotors. So I think that's the main reason that this was coming off with it. But I mean, This thing is honestly pretty awesome. There's gonna be some things that, you know, are not gonna want to stick to it as well. But overall, I think that most stuff is gonna want to stick to this. I think that if this breaker bar had a flat surface on it, that this would probably have no issue staying on there, but I think that it's just because of the surface. If you think about it, this is a circle, this is a circle, so really the only part that's going to be touching this mat is just that edge of the circle. But I think that might be something for you to do. Harbor Freight, if you're watching this, or any product people are watching this, make a breaker bar that has a flat surface to stick to this. Why don't you do that? That'd be cool. I mean, there's nothing that says that breaker bars have to be perfectly circular all the way around. Just make a nice little flat surface on one end that you can stick to your mat. But yeah, I mean, even there, it's still staying on relatively well. And it's only coming in contact with, I don't know, however many magnets that is, maybe like 8 to, looks like it's coming in contact with about 6 or 7 magnets. But yeah, super impressed with this right now. Let's get under the truck and we'll do some more testing. Okay, so under the truck, kind of tight squeeze under here, but gonna do real world, just showing how, you know, this would be practical in a lot of situations. So let's just say you're, you know, changing out you know, an oil pan, a transmission pan, working on exhaust, doing an oil change. There's a bunch of different stuff that you could be under a vehicle for. A lot of different stuff. So let's slap it on. Let's throw some stuff on here. And just like it did inside with everything vertical, seems to be holding up pretty good with everything hanging down, straight up and down. So looks like, I mean, those are on there good. The one thing you got to make sure when you're putting stuff on here is that the metal is at least getting contact with the widest surface of you know, whatever you're sticking on here. Like, obviously, you know, even though that's holding on there sideways, it's better, you know, obviously put everything where as much surface is touching these magnets. Let's put some big stuff on here, see if it can hold up. Wow, that's cool. Let's put this huge set, or this big, this is I don't even know how, I bet this weighs 10 pounds, probably, at least. I mean, I wouldn't put my face right under that, just because I'm a little bit paranoid, but I mean, it seems to be holding on pretty good, and doesn't seem to be, yeah, that's on there. That's pretty impressive. Oh, see there, if it did fall. Yeah, I guess you just got to make sure as much metal as possible is making contact with the magnets. So if it's bigger stuff that you're putting on this, just make sure you're a little bit careful. But yeah, this is looking like it's a definite buy. Let's get back inside and I'll give you my final thoughts. Thanks for sticking around until the end. So, final thoughts. I already think it's a buy. 100%, I would recommend buying this product. I think that from what we've seen, it's got practical applications that are just in the performance out of it. I think that this thing's going to do everything that you want it to do, that you would expect from this type of product. And you know, there may be situations where having just like, you know, a little magnetic tray or something may just be more convenient, but this thing it's not going to mar paint. It's not going to, you know, scratch up anything, at least from what I'm seeing. It looks like it's pretty well built, and even if it does start to fray or fall apart, It's got that Icon Harbor Freight lifetime guarantee. Just take it back in, swap it out, no issues. Sub $20, $19.99. I honestly think that this thing is awesome. That item number 70077. So maybe your Harbor Freight has one of these and they haven't put it out yet. Go on in there, get you one. But wouldn't be a video testing the limits of this without us really testing the limits. So I have one more test that I want to do before we wrap this thing up. So I think that one rotor maybe isn't enough. I think that this thing can handle two. So let's slap, we've got one rotor on, we got a second rotor. We're gonna one up the Harbor Freight advertising team. That's insane. This thing is awesome. So I don't even have to tell you. This speaks for itself. Get this product. It's an awesome product. I would 100% buy more. I'm gonna end up buying. I bought two. I'm probably gonna go get a few more after doing this review because I know they're gonna be selling out. These things are gonna sell like hotcakes. I have no question about it. This is gonna be like the new meme tool where it's just like gone, or the new pliers that are out that are like never in stock. Luckily, I found a couple of these in stock the other day, and I just bought both of them because, you know, who knows when they're going to be readily available, and we'll be able to warranty them if there is any issues. So I just went ahead and bought two sets, but go get these because these are going to fly off the shelves, and I have no doubts about that. Anyway, thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching the channel. I hope to continue to do product reviews. Like I said, if you've watched any of my other videos, I've already said, you know, I'm a Harbor Freight, fanboy, whatever you want to call it. I just think that the warranty on all the products are, you know, they might not be the best, but they're pretty damn close. That warranty is just as good as any. And, you know, you can't beat the convenience of just being able to walk in, shop around, no pressure. You don't have a crazy bill or have anyone breathing down your throat and expecting you to buy something the second you walk in the store. You can walk in, peruse. Everyone's friendly. Everyone at Harbor Freight is so cool. At least in my local store, and every store I've been to, people are always chilling there. So, anyway, go get one of these as soon as they're out to the general public. I know my store had them. I don't know if other stores are getting them right now. I'm sure that they are. But yeah, I don't need to say anything that this is not saying. So thank you guys. And if you want to see more content or there's any specific products that you want me to review, I do own a substantial amount of Harbor Freight tools, a lot of tools from Harbor Freight. I switched all my cordless stuff to the Hercules line. So I own almost every Hercules tool you can think of, the cordless stuff. But yeah, if there's anything that you specifically want to see me do a review on, leave a comment. If you could like and subscribe and share this video with your friends, I'd really appreciate it. I think that this is going to piss off some of the big box trucks that have a similar product, because this thing I know is probably, you know, half the price, if not cheaper, than the competitors out there. And this performance is awesome. Totally unexpected. I thought this was a gimmick when I saw it. This is not a gimmick at all. So anyway, thank you guys so much. Take it easy. Sorry this is kind of a long video, but I thought, you know, with this being a new product, I know I'm probably one of the first people that's going to be reviewing this on YouTube. I just wanted to really put this through the paces and really show you guys what you're getting. Once again, details on it, it's 1.9 pounds. This thing's super light, seems pretty durable, but worst case scenario, if yours does fall apart, just take it in and get a new one. You're gonna get awesome performance out of this. It's definitely, in my opinion, a must buy. Take it easy.